And so if you are listening to this on another day, of course, it's a replay. But regardless, stay tuned, listen in, and make sure that you don't miss a beat. We're going to have a good conversation today. I am Coach Steele, and you're tuned in to Coach Steele's Finance Training. And you can tune in and watch it on Facebook Live, or you can go to my YouTube channel and watch it there as well. So I'm going to accommodate you either way. And if you are always tuning in on Facebook Live, that's fine. But still go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. So during the week, I post other videos and shorts and information and even gardening videos as well. And so if you are a subscriber, you will see that information as it comes up. So today we are talking about having a money mindset. Yes. What is your mindset about money? Money mindset activities. What does it look like? Definitely going to do that on today, Mr. Sherman. And also good morning to you, Patricia Ford. Ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about having a money mindset and money mindset activities, it's interesting because it's levels to this. It's so many different levels when you talk about your mindset concerning money. And today you'll get to see what level you're on. We're going to discuss those different levels and what it looks like and some of the things, action items. I like action items. I love for people to tell me or give me advice, but then I like the action items with that as well. So we're going to discuss that. And one of the first things we're going to discuss today, and I appreciate everybody for tuning in, tapping in to this. If you're scrolling through, stop what you're doing, boom, hit play or whatever you're supposed to hit so that you'll be tuned in. Good morning, Miss Shauna Johnson. Yes, we're going to talk about money mindset on today. And let's get right to it. And so one of the first things when it comes to having the right money mindset, one of the first things that you could do is forgive your past mistakes. Forgive yourself for your past money mistakes. Forgive yourself for some of the past decisions that you made with money. When we talk about progressing and having good financial success with money, with currency, sometimes people dwell on the mistakes that they made in the past more than the positive steps that they can take right now and in the future. And so one of the first things you can do is forgive your past mistakes. So hopefully as you're tuning in, now if you're driving, don't do this, but if you're sitting and you're chilling, make sure you take some notes for yourself as well as we go through each one of these steps. So you want to be able to forgive yourself for your past mistakes, forgive yourself for your past missteps. Good morning to you, Mr. John Johnson. Happy to have you tuning in. Definitely, this is awesome. So we got Shauna tuning in. We got John tuning in. We got couples tuning in. This is awesome. Wake everybody up and let them know it's time to talk about financial literacy. So anyway, when we talk about past mistakes, I could go down the list of all the financial mistakes that I make. Some of them are pretty humorous and silly and were immature at the time, but I didn't know any better. I didn't know the long-term effects of my mistakes. But one thing for sure is I wasn't going to focus on them so much, refuse to forgive myself, and not allow myself to move on. And so you have to look at all those old mistakes you made and put them off to the side. We take action items to clean up those mistakes. We take action items to fix those mistakes. That's why people make big business. People make big money and grow big businesses by cleaning up and fixing mistakes. And so once you get into the business of cleaning up and fixing your mistakes, as opposed to dwelling on them, you can make big money. So as we dive into this and we look at everything that's going on today, I do want to quickly give my son a shout out on this morning. Why? Because it's his birthday. It's November 9th, 2024, and it's his birthday today. So happy birthday to Simon Steele Jr., who's tuning in. I'm excited for him. He's getting older. He's getting wiser. He's doing awesome for himself. And I am a very proud father. because of who he is as a son to me. So as we move on, we forgive ourselves for our past mistakes, our missteps, and we start figuring out and identifying our problem, our issue. Identify your weakness. And so instead of dwelling on the past mistakes, identify your weakness. So now here's number 2. Identify your weakness. What is your weakness when it comes to financial literacy? Is it the budgeting? Is it spending habits? Is it not having enough information to know what step to take next? Identify your weakness when it comes to financial literacy so that you can not only acknowledge what it is, but then you can start researching and figuring out how to fix that weakness. And most importantly, if that's your weakness, find someone to where that is their strength and go get guidance, go get help, go get assistance. And so when you do that, is help and assistance always free? No, sometimes it costs, but it's worth it. It is worth the investment and the cost to fix your weakness. So don't have a bad money mindset when it comes to improving yourself and those weaknesses. Another thing that you can do to improve your money mindset, and I'm going to talk about the different levels. We're going to dive into that, the different levels of money mindset. We'll get to that, but I'm going to deal with some of the things that cause people to have poor money mindset first, and then we're going to talk about the different levels. Another thing that can cause you to have a poor money mindset is your emotions. Your emotions. When we look at emotions in life, our emotions sometimes can dictate the decisions that we make. So some people can be in a good mood, positive mood. It may cause them to make certain decisions. And then you have some people, they may be in a down mood or feeling sad or feeling negative, and that may dictate what decisions that they make. It may cause you to do two different things. And so your emotions can sometimes control the financial decisions that you make in life. Has anyone ever been emotional? And you don't have to say what it is unless you want to. I'll read it. Has anyone ever been so emotional that they made a bad financial decision before? Is it just me, or is there anybody else that's tuning in that's made bad financial decisions off of emotions? Good morning, Mrs. Smith. Appreciate you tuning in on this morning. Make sure you wake up Mr. Smith as well if he's asleep. Or maybe don't. Maybe not. Maybe don't wake him up. I don't know. You decide. Anyway, has anyone ever made bad financial decisions based off, we got Youth Pastor Trotter in the building on today. Shout out to Youth Pastor Trotter over at Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church. If you don't have a church home or you're looking for a church to tune into, whether it's in person or live, you can go to 1370 Shaw Road and tune in, or you can watch online the Mount and go to Facebook and type in Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church. Anyway, as we continue to move forward, we do have a youth ministry, so bring your kids as well, and they'll have a blast over there. When we talk about emotions, ladies and gentlemen, your emotions can cause you, like it can, and it doesn't have to be a bad emotion. It can be emotional. I want to keep up with the Joneses. An emotion of, I saw something that I like and I really, really want it bad. Your emotions, people can play on your emotions too. Let's deal with that too. Let's deal with the fact that sometimes you can see something that you wanted, and so you become so emotional, so passionate, and so connected to something that your emotions can cause you to make bad financial decisions. I'll give an example. Let's say, and I'll pick on the ladies today. Let's say all your girlfriends are going on a vacation. Everybody's going on a vacation. They've been planning it, and we're going to do this or do that. And sometimes they don't plan it. They just spring it on you a month or two in advance. Hey, this is what we're going to do. And you understand where you are financially. You understand now is not the best time for me to take a trip. Now is not the best time for me to dive into my finances and swipe this card to go on this trip, to go on this vacation, to go on this venture with them, because financially I am not set up to handle this, but I do have some extra space in my credit card where I can just swipe it and pay it back later. So many times people have been there before, and because of their emotional attachment and connection and peer pressure, they will swipe the card, go on the trip, have a blast. But when they come back from that trip or vacation, they found themselves in a terrible state. They found themselves in a very difficult situation financially. And now you have to dig yourself out of that hole by yourself. Vacation, it was a group of you. You enjoyed it. You had fun. But when you make those bad financial decisions, you have to dig yourself out of that hole by yourself. And the lemon wasn't worth the squeeze. And so you have to understand how to take your emotions out of certain situations and say, you know what? I'll just sit this one out. You know what? I can't make this trip. Financially, I need to make a wiser decision in this moment. I've made financial decisions out of emotions, thinking I had to do more than I needed to, trying to help family out. And by doing that, then later my AC went out. When my AC went out, guess what? I didn't have the money to pay for my air condition to be fixed. And this was a while back, years ago. So I went without AC for a couple months because I didn't want to swipe a card to get the AC fixed because I knew it was just going to make the financial situation worse. So I had to adjust and I had to sit in the heat because of the emotional decision that I made to help family when I technically didn't have to do it on the level that I did it on. So there's consequences when our emotions get in the way. And so some people get emotional and frustrated with a job, don't have another job lined up, and they'll just quit. They'll quit their job. I just quit. I'm quitting my job because my boss got on my nerves or my coworker got on my nerves. And now you quit. You don't have anything lined up. You didn't set up 3 to 6 months worth of savings. And guess what? Now you go on a couple of days, couple of months, whatever it is without pay, but you allowed your emotions to disconnect from a job without an appropriate plan to continue to make money or have income. And so now you may find yourself asking other people for financial help because you allowed your emotions to get in the way. And so some people get emotional. They don't quit, but they may decide, I'm not going into work today. Well, guess what? You may not get paid depending on your situation. So make sure that we control our emotions and don't allow our emotions to cause us to make financial decisions that are not favorable for us. And so when we talk about having a money mindset, we have to deal with some of those little things that can cause you to have a poor money mindset. So another thing is we have to quit complaining so much. Less complaining, more work. Less complaining, be more creative. We can complain and nag about everything that's happening, but complaining isn't going to fix your money mindset. Putting in the work, putting yourself in a positive mindset around the right people that are going to push you to where you're trying to be is going to help you. So we have to stop complaining and stop overspending and shift our mindset to abundance and not scarcity. So we can't think in a scarcity mindset. We have to think in abundance. Some people say, well, if this happens, then they think negative. If this happens, if I try to do this, what if it doesn't work? No. Don't think, what if it doesn't work? You should say, if I try this, what if it does work? If I try this, if I take these necessary steps, what can possibly come from this? And when you start taking those steps, your confidence and your courage will be built up. After you try it for a while, after you take some steps, you are less intimidated by the consequences and the repercussions of your actions because you understand what I'm trying to do is not that scary. What I'm trying to do is not that dangerous. I remember when I decided to try and make my first home a rental property. Didn't know what it would go like. I had never rented out a property before, but I wanted to have a real estate portfolio. I wanted to make money off of rental income, passive income. Guess what? I tried it. It wasn't so bad. I learned the positives, I learned the negatives, and then I was able to make adjustments. What do I need to prepare for? What does this look like? Okay, I need to make sure I have money to the side in case one tenant leaves and another one comes back, and while another one comes in. I learned about insurance. Having landlord insurance is actually cheaper. It doesn't cost as much as regular insurance on a house. There's adjustments and things that I made because I needed to learn how to have a good positive return on investment, ROI, positive return on investment. But I would have never learned those things if I didn't try. So you have to be willing to try. You have to be willing to stand up and try something and count the cost. Look at the pros and cons of it and be comfortable with dealing with the pros and the cons of it all. All right, next. To get a better positive money mindset, you need to be able to visualize and write what your goals are. So if you're no longer thinking in a scarcity mindset and you're thinking abundant, positive thinking of what you can actually obtain, what you can actually grow, what you can actually have, when you're talking about having an abundance mindset, now we are ready to visualize and write those things down. You're able to write the vision and make it plain. And so when you visualize it, for some of you that are tuning in on this morning, what do you visualize for yourself financially? When you think about having a money mindset, in the comment section, just write down some of the things that you visualize for yourself. Go ahead. Tell me, what are some of the things you visualize for yourself financially? Let's see what we're working with here. What are we visualizing for ourselves financially? What are some of your goals? Okay, we got one person said financial freedom. They visualize freedom. And freedom for some people, it comes in various forms. Ooh, that's deep right there, Sam. Owning a family compound. I thought about that too. But then, Sam, what are we going to do with the family that's annoying? Don't answer that, because then you're going to say, yeah, don't answer that. You don't have any annoying family members. Like, if you build a family compound, who gets to live there and who not? Like, do you get to, like, is it only for first cousins and immediate, or do third cousins, fourth cousins? So anyway, I'm just kidding. But yes, owning a family compound is amazing. And when you look at it and you go back to your roots and you go back to history, a lot of people, that's how a lot of people lived. Family grew and was around each other. That was like the norm for people to have family all around them. And so Sam says she's just gonna love them. That's all. Tony Sherman, 50,000 saving. You know what? I don't think that's difficult at all. $50,000 worth of savings, that's not too difficult, especially if you put your money, when you're building your savings back up, if you put your money in a high yield interest savings account, and I'll send you a link for that, Tony Sherman, you put your money in a high yield interest savings account, and then your money can help work for you as well. So 50,000 worth of savings isn't difficult at all. So definitely a realistic goal there. All right, so we got that. Let's see, working for self. Shauna says, working for self and owning my own building, owning duplexes. Look out now. Another one. Matter of fact, you can work for yourself right now. So some of these goals, like working for self, you can be sole proprietorship. You can start your own business, work for yourself. Even though you have a 9-to-5, you can still work for yourself. So me and Shauna, we going into business. I'm just waiting on her, y'all. Put pressure on her, ask her about the business. And so we can go ahead and do that now, Shauna. And then owning a duplex, awesome idea. A lot of people don't realize when you go buy a house, you can actually go buy a duplex or a quadplex, also known as a fourplex. You can go buy that, and of course, you're going to have tenants in the other units, and those tenants are going to pay you rent, which is going to actually help you pay your mortgage. And you'll have to stay in that property for 1 year. You can move out and then go buy another house, or go buy another duplex or fourplex and repeat the process. If you did that twice with a fourplex, in 2 years, you would have 8 units. You would have 8 doors. You would have 8 different families or individuals paying you rent in 2 years. Just that fast, you can change your whole life around when it comes to passive income. And then you say, well, how do I qualify for that? Well, with the fourplex and things like that, the financial institution is going to actually look at the potential rent that you can make from the other doors, and a portion of that is going to be added towards you to help you income to help you qualify for that property. So a lot of this stuff is definitely realistic and can be done. Tasha Smith says being debt free. Don't worry, that's on the way. That's something else we can work on as well. And so a lot of these goals that we have on here are so realistic. Let me make sure I didn't miss any more. All right, so let's see what we have here. Scholarship for second grandson, Sarah Stevens. Yes, all of these are realistic goals that we can accomplish. So these are the things that we can write down, write the vision, be able to visualize. And this is another thing I wanted to tell you all. When you write down this stuff, put it in a spot where you can see it. Put it like, I don't care if it's on a dry erase board. I don't care if you got stickies, whatever they call, stickers on mirrors, on doors, something on the refrigerator. Write all of this stuff down where you can see it every single day. So as you get something done, boom, I got that off the dry erase board. Okay, I took this next step. Listen to what I'm saying. Not only do you want to write down what the goal is, but you want to write down the action items that are going to help you accomplish that goal. So don't just have the goal there. You'll just be staring at that every day. What are the action items? Who do I need to talk to? What steps do I need to take? Do I need a financial coach? And if you need a financial coach, come holler at me, but it's not going to be free. Anyway, all of these different steps, find out what it is that you need to accomplish those goals so that you can have good success. That stuff needs to be written down. It needs to be where you can see it. I go to the extreme. Some of my financial goals that may be 6 months away, that may be 3 months away, whatever it is, I have alarms that go off in my phone. I put my goals on my calendar. So even when I'm not thinking about my goal, I have something that's going to go off in my phone that's going to say, oh yeah, you're still trying to get this done. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm glad you. So I will remind myself of my goals, even when my brain wasn't thinking about them, even when they're 3 to 6 months away. So those are a lot of creative things you can do to keep your mind active with accomplishing and getting to those things that you want to get to. And we're talking about shifting your money mindset, shifting your mindset to accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish. You want to be a good steward over the things that you have. And so whether you're making a journal, you name it, you want to visualize those goals. And I'll say this too. Make your goal personal for you. Don't base it off of what you see everybody else doing or trying to make yourself do what somebody else does. Do it your way. Do it to where it's realistic and attainable for you. You accomplish the goal. So make your goals personal. There's nothing wrong with looking up to other people. It's nothing wrong with looking at someone else's blueprint, but don't get so caught up on their blueprint that you mess up your money mindset and you feel like you can't do it. So make sure your goal and your journey is personal for you. All right, next step, learning to educate yourself, and also never stop learning. Remember this, never stop learning. So whatever those goals and things that you're writing down, when you watch TV or you open up you look at your phone, or whether you go online, make sure you spend time researching those things that you wrote down. Don't write down certain things, and then when you go watch TV or you look online or you go on YouTube or social media, that you are not attacking and researching the things you wrote down. It's contradicting itself. You want to do this, but you're looking at that. It doesn't go together. So you got to make sure there's some balance there. Short-term goal, paying off all debt, son college debt, long-term financial residual for future grants and my retirement in 12 years. Okay, I see Miss L on here. Those are a lot of good goals that you have there, and all of them are attainable. And I'm trying to see, I don't know if we're friends on Facebook or not, Miss L, but if you have a mortgage, maybe you can, I'm trying to look all into the screen at the little word, sorry. If you have a mortgage and you're interested in learning how to pay off your debt even faster, let me know. And maybe we can connect and I can show you a program that may potentially help you with all of that. But all of this is attainable for us, ladies and gentlemen. There are so many creative things we can do. Just like I mentioned a second ago, in 2 years, somebody that decides to go buy a fourplex and rent out the other 3 units and has somebody else paying the mortgage on that property. So now they don't have to come, oh, Miss, okay, Linda, that's my people. All right. Yes, Linda. I don't know your situation right now. But if you do have a mortgage, let me know. I can send you some information. Thank you for letting me know. So happy to have you tuning in as well. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this stuff is not difficult. It's not complex. It's about learning the right information. I remember years ago, I would say, oh, well, I don't think I can afford a duplex. I don't think I can afford a fourplex or apartment complex. I did not know that they don't just go off of your current income. They look at those doors, those units, and use that potential income, that potential rent to help you qualify for purchasing. And so it's pretty interesting. Oh, yeah, if you just purchased, then we definitely can connect. I can give you some good information and save you a bunch of money in interest, especially if you just bought a house. You just pay, if you pay that 30-year mortgage, they're going to make you pay for that house twice right now, especially where the interest rates are. And so just that quick, you can have passive income, guys. So you do not have to struggle financially. It's about taking the necessary steps to shift your mindset. And so never stop learning, always educate yourself. And most importantly, I mentioned it before, surround yourself around people that have the right mindset. Sometimes you can be around people that they just don't know any better. They don't have the information. They're not bad people. They're great people, quality people, but your circle may not have the information to push you and drive you in the right direction when it comes to increasing your level of financial literacy. So what do you have to do? You have to find the right rooms and the right environment to put yourself in so that you can increase your money mindset. You have to find the right rooms, the right people, the right environment to increase your money mindset. Do you have to get rid of your friends? No, you don't have to get rid of them, because eventually you get to take that information back to them. And some of them that receive it, great. Some of them that don't, it's fine. It's your job just to pass the information along as you receive it. Same thing that I'm doing here. The way I grew up is nowhere compared to the lifestyle that I have now. And it's because of me shifting my money mindset. You have to have a mindset right now that you can accomplish and obtain everything that you desire to based off of your work, your effort, and your research. You can get there. It doesn't matter where you are right now. All of that can change in a moment. All of that can change in a day. I was just talking to someone last month. They were in one of the financial classes that I was talking about. And they gave me a testimony yesterday about how much they used to spend. And in a month's time frame, by them adjusting what they do financially, they have already paid off 2 of those credit cards. And by the end of the year, they're going to pay off at least another 2 credit cards. What does that mean? This person who had money that had credit card debt is now going to clear that debt up, which frees up their cash flow. Once we get the cash flow freed up, we can now go attack and purchase assets. We can go look at all these different asset classes and acquire assets. And that's shifting the money mindset. So when we talk about different levels of money mindset, I want you to tune in very closely. And so we can deal with it on 3 different levels, but it can be broken up because sometimes people are in between levels. So 3 basic levels when we talk about having a money mindset. When you are let's say there's a poor money mindset. When you're struggling financially, we talk about this first level. We'll do poor, middle class, and wealthy. And sometimes, like I said, you may find yourself in one of those in between spots. So make sure you're tuning in. And I appreciate everybody that is tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training. As you're listening in, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Coach Steele's Finance Training. If you're tuning in live on Facebook, make sure you follow me on Facebook. And make sure you, like I said, you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Appreciate everybody tuning in. If you're on Facebook, you can share this live feed as well as you're listening in. Tag some loved ones in there. Tag some people in there. Maybe they ask you for money. Maybe they need financial guidance. Maybe they're a young person and they need to increase their financial literacy. Make sure you tag them all in here as well. When we talk about the three different levels, poor, middle class, and wealthy, the poor person's mindset, the mentality and the activities that we have with a poor person is when they get paid, poor mindset, first level, when they get paid, they usually just spend their money. They get paid and they spend their money on bills. Get income, their job pays them, and they rush to go pay bills. They go pay the light bill. They go pay water bill. They go buy groceries. The money goes right back out. And sometimes when it comes to the poor mindset, sometimes some of the bills get paid late. Sometimes some of the bills don't get paid on time. So when you're in that phase, and I was in that phase for a while, I didn't like it, but I found myself comfortable in it in my early 20s. And sometimes the lifestyle that you grow up in, the environment you grow up in, some things do seem normal. It doesn't seem odd or out of the ordinary. So the poor mindset, you get paid and then you go pay bills. And sometimes you pay some of those bills late. Sometimes you don't get paid enough. So you use a credit card to pay certain things. And so you end up paying the credit card late. And sometimes the credit score is affected. So with the poor mindset, get paid, pay bills, sometimes late, it affects the credit score. So they have low credit scores. When we get to the second money mindset, when we look at the second money mindset, it is more of like the middle class. When we look at middle class, when they get paid, they save a little bit of money and they pay all their bills on time. And so you can identify where you are, not to be judged, not to be picked on, not to be talked about, but you can start improving where your money mindset level is and where you find yourself in this dynamic. So on the second level, middle class, they get paid, they save a little money, and they pay all their bills on time. They pay all their bills on time, and so therefore they pay the credit card bill on time. So their credit score, they have a pretty good credit score. And because they have a good credit score, they go acquire liabilities. Now I'm going to buy this car, but the car is going to come with a car note. I can afford and qualify for another credit card, so therefore I'm going to get another credit card. And so middle level, middle class, the second money mindset level, they get paid. They do put a little money in savings. They contribute a little money to their retirement account. They pay all their bills on time. So they have good credit score. And they, check this out, they leverage their credit score to acquire liabilities. Middle class, leverage credit score to acquire liabilities, which cause money to go out. Like the example is a car note. So that's what middle class do. Next level, when we talk about wealthy people, here's a higher level of having the money mindset where you want to be. So wealthy people, what they do is they get paid, they get income. Once they get the income, they do save. They do put money in their retirement accounts. But what they do with their income, and because they pay everything on time, just like the middle level, they pay everything on time, so they have excellent credit scores. But what they do, the wealthy, is they leverage their credit score to acquire assets, and they leverage debt to acquire assets that the middle class and the poor are willing to pay for monthly or one time. They acquire assets, whether it's houses, whether it's cars, whether it's goods, services. They acquire assets, businesses that other people want to pay for those things, so that then they will make passive income, they'll make a profit, and then that is when they go buy the liabilities. So wealthy people get income, they get paid, they save a little, they invest a little, they leverage their great credit because they pay everything on time. They leverage their credit to buy assets in the form of houses that they'll rent out or other assets that they can make money from, goods and services, businesses. They leverage debt, acquire all of these assets, acquire businesses that will then in turn make them more money. And then they take that money and spend it on the liabilities. So usually the poor and the middle class are purchasing those goods and services or paying for them so that they can have the money that they spend. And so when we talk about the different levels, the poor, the middle class, and the wealthy, you can identify which money mindset that you're in, and you can start saying, what adjustments do I need to shift to that next level? What adjustments can I make in my lifestyle, in the way that I think about money and how I'm acquiring things, so that I can start acquiring assets that bring me in money, so that then I can go buy the liabilities that I want. When you learn to be more strategic about what you're doing with your money, you can cause your money to work for you. Each and every one of us have financial gardens that we are responsible over, that we need to grow. Each and every one of us can take baby steps. We can take little steps along the way to shift our mindset. Some of the steps that you can take, they don't cost you anything. It's a matter of making adjustments, simple little adjustments to improve your situation. One simple example that I always use, because it's really about changing your mindset about something, trying something new. So one of the simple examples that I always use, and you all will hear me talk about it a lot, so that people can experience something new, it may be something as simple as getting a high yield interest savings account. What does that do for you? Well, most people have their money sitting in a savings account or a checking account that may be making zero interest, or like, I think the average for most savings accounts is like 0.45% interest. It's not even 1%. And so something simple you can do is open up a high yield interest savings account. What does that mean? Instead of having your money sit somewhere where it's making 0% or less than 1% interest, you can transfer your money in a high yield interest savings account, and now your money is making at least 4 or maybe 5% interest. And when it's doing that, in other words, your money is going to make money. It's going to increase without you having to do anything. All you did was position your money in a better place. If you need information about a high yield interest savings account, definitely inbox me. Let me know. You can also email me. You'll see my email down here. It says coachstillfinance@gmail.com. If you need an FDIC insured bank with a good high yield interest savings account that's going to pay you at least 4.2% interest and have other bonuses involved as well, then definitely hit me up. I've had a high yield interest savings account, and they give you a certain amount of money. It's like if you open an account, I think if you deposit like $50 in there in the first 14 days, they'll give you like $25 just for opening up. So if you deposit $50 and you make $25, that's $75 now. That's an extra $25 you didn't have. It's not that you have to keep the account. I mean, you can open it up, get the $25 and use that to pay a bill. What am I talking about? It's shifting your mindset. You're taking your money, and instead of spending it on something, you went and acquired an asset. You went and invested your money so that it can make more. It's going to make more money because it's going to make interest that month, and the bank is going to potentially give you at least $25. Now, also that link that I have in the description box on YouTube, and the link that you see on the Facebook on this live, the link is in there as well. But if you need that link, I can send it to you directly. Let me know. And even with the link, this high yield interest savings account that I use, I've had it for about a month, And I'm already up to $600 in bonuses and things like that just from using the account. That's an extra $600 that I didn't have, that I now have. They have one bonus that they give, depending on how much direct deposits you put in there in the first 25 days, they'll give you up to $300. I got the $300. It was free. What could you do with an extra $300 or $25 or $600? You can go use that. If you got a credit card, you could have used that to pay off the card. What did you do? You allowed the bank to pay you for money you already had. And I'm talking about being creative financially. And so, are there some banks that have a higher interest rate than 4.2%? Yeah, probably so. But this bank is paying me extra money in addition to other things that's going to outpace their 4.5% or whatever it is. And so, once again, I'm strategically leveraging my money to make more money for me. And so we have to work smarter. And so when you don't work smarter, there's a thing called opportunity cost. You are losing money every day, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, whether you want to admit it or not. If you don't take certain financial actions immediately, you missed out on money. So right now, so far, I've made at least an extra $600 with the stuff I'm doing with this high yield interest savings account, right? Well, if I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have the $600. I can now take this $600 if I wanted to, and I could go invest it into something else because the $600 I didn't have. I got it from the bank. It was free. I didn't have to do anything really. So I could go take that $600 and put it in cryptocurrency. Like when you look at it, and this is so off subject, when you look at Ethereum, it was like less than $3,000 for the past few months. It was like $2,400, $2,500. Now I looked at it yesterday and it was at $3,000. It's going back up. I could take $600 and throw it in there. If it goes up, great. If it goes down, it's okay. It was free money. I'm not saying take your money and put it in crypto. What I'm saying is there are creative ways for you to use your money, leverage it, shift your mindset, and do something different as opposed to what we keep doing now. And so as we continue to grow, as we continue to progress, like I said, figure out where you are. And we have to make sure that we don't have a crab in the barrel mentality. You have to be comfortable with seeing your brother, with seeing your sister, with seeing your loved ones, the people that you know improve financially. No one should have the mindset that they want to be the only king of the hill. I want to be the only person that's having financial success. No, let's all elevate and push each other, because if the people around you are having financial success, then you can push and accelerate each other even further with some of the other goals that we have. Samantha wants a family compound. And so by doing that, family can come together and make that happen overnight. But trying to do it by yourself can be a little more difficult. There's a lot of things that people can do together, working together, learning how to leverage those relationships to push you to where you need to be. I'm going to work with Shauna on doing a business. We're going to leverage our relationship and maybe we can make some money from it. We don't have anything to lose. So when we look at those different levels, remember there's a poor money mindset where all they do is take the money, pay bills. Take the money, pay bills. Sometimes they have to pay the bills late. And so to fix that poor money mindset, you definitely need to start working on fine-tuning your budget and seeing where your money is going and what adjustments you can make. Sometimes you have to call a creditor or bill collector and say, hey, I get paid on this day. Is there a way where I can shift this? If I can, yeah, Sam, it's the link that I sent you like 2 months ago, Sam. So I don't know if you ever opened up the account or not, but it's the link I sent you like 2 months ago. So if you didn't use it, then opportunity cost. You might have missed out on some money during that time frame, some free money. And so, you know, it makes a big difference. For example, if somebody has $15,000 in a high yield interest savings account, you're going to make like an extra $50 to $60 a month. It's free money. It's interest on your money. So normally when you sit your money in the bank, the bank is able to borrow at least 90% of the value of that deposit that you put in there and loan it out. And they can make money off of your money. So what I'm telling everyone is, if the bank has financial success by making interest off of your money, then the blueprint is make interest off of your money. And in a high yield interest savings account, the bank will pay you interest on that. So definitely use the link that you all see, whether it's if you're on YouTube, use my link in the description box. And if you're on Facebook, there's a link that you can use on my Facebook in the description of what we're talking about today as well. Let's work together as a unit and increase our income, increase our cash flow, shift our money mindset so that we can walk in wealth. The poor people get money, pay their bills, get money, pay their bills, and sometimes they don't pay them on time. Middle class, they get money, they get income from their job. When they get that, they save a little bit, they pay their bills on time, which means they have good credit. They say, oh, my credit's good. I can afford a house. I can afford a car. And so now they have these liabilities that they're paying every month. And so also then you have the wealthy people. And what wealthy people do is wealthy people get paid. They get their income. They save a little. They invest a little into their retirement fund. They also, good morning to you, Miss Avis and Miss Janice Simpson. And so they get money, they get paid, they save a little as well. They put a little into their retirement, they invest, but then they go leverage their great credit score. They leverage debt. They acquire those same assets. They acquire the house, they acquire other things, but then they rent them out. They leverage them to buy assets because they're going to take those same items that the middle class bought, but they're going to rent them out. They're going to set themselves up in a success. They may buy a house, they may fix it up a little bit, increase the value of it, and then sell it. They're going to buy assets to make money off of. And then when they make that money, when they have that passive income, then they go buy their liabilities. And so they're using other people's money to acquire assets so that they can receive other people's money to pay for the liabilities. And so if you have an asset that is cash flowing, good question, Patricia Ford. So Patricia Ford, a CD is going to pay you about 4% interest, but that CD is going to lock up your money for 6 months to a year, depending on what the terms of the agreement of that certificate of deposit is. It's going to lock up that money for that period of time and pay you about 4% interest or whatever that amount is. And then if you try to pull the money out too soon or early, it comes with some type of penalty or fees or something like that. But a high yield interest savings account is going to pay you still about 4% interest or more, except you still have access to the money every month if you needed it. If you don't, then you can leave it there. So I prefer a high yield interest savings account. Why? Because it does the same thing as a CD, except my money isn't locked up somewhere that will come with a penalty or fee if I decide to pull it out early. So why not just do a high yield interest savings account as opposed to the CD? It just makes more sense. It works better. And I'll send you the link to that high yield interest savings account as well. So I prefer high yield over a CD all day, every day. It's not even close. You're welcome. I definitely appreciate sharing. It is about 5 minutes till 10. So I'm going to talk for maybe about 4 more minutes and I'm going to get off. But I definitely appreciate each and every person as you continue to tune in. I want you all to remember what those mindsets are, those 3 different levels, and where you find yourself at when it comes to those 3 different levels. If you have a poor money mindset, if you have that middle class money mindset, or the description of that wealthy mindset. And so I remember when I was in that poor money mindset where I was just getting money and I was using it to pay bills. And then at one point, I was just happy that I had enough money to pay my bills on time, which is crazy. No problem. I got you, Janet Miles. Let me write that down. I don't want to forget. I think Janet Miles will beat me up if I forget. Not that I'm, not scared of the rest of y'all, but I don't want to get in trouble with her. So, all right. So I got that written down. And so I was just happy to pay my bills on time. And I thought that was like, oh, that was it. That's what the goal should be. And then I realized that it was more to it than that. I need a savings. I need to have an emergency fund. I need to clear up all of these debts and bills and everything like that. And so that's when I went on this journey to educate myself and learn more. And I've come so far from where I was to where I didn't even care about paying bills on time. And so what you have to understand is we've been called to manage and steward what we have on so much on a higher level than what we have been. You have a mandate to reach other people that you don't even realize yet. But when you go from a poor money mindset to a wealthy mindset, you're going to find the people that you have been called to reach when you shift your mindset. You will have a passion and a desire for people that you would have never known if you don't shift your mindset. But if you shift your money mindset, you're going to find the people that you've been called to mentor. You're going to find the people that you've been called to help. You're going to find the people that you have been designed to help guide them through their financial journey. But it's going to require that you shift your mindset completely from poor to wealthy, from middle class to wealthy, and operate and walk in it and be able to do it at an elite level. We don't want to do it at a regular level. We want to be able to walk in a money mindset at an elite level. And when you do that, you learn to collaborate. You learn to work with other people because you can make something shake in a matter of seconds. You can get something done in no time at all because you have created a circle of people that shift and operate and move mentally and spiritually in a place that you didn't move in before. And so you realize that nothing is impossible. You realize that you can accomplish all things. You can do anything because there's a crowd, there's a group of people. You know, the scripture says how good and pleasant it is that brethren dwell together in unity. Well, that's spiritually some good things happen when you gather together in unity. But financially, there's some great things that happen when you gather together in unity. When you come together financially, you can move and shake some things as well. There's ownership to be had. And so as you find those people that God has called you to help, to assist, to help grow and all those good things, it comes with no headache. It comes with no stress because financially you've been positioned to be able to do it. You're able to feed those that need food. You're able to clothe those people that needs clothes. It's all about shifting your mindset and becoming aggressive. Check this out. If you could just simply adjust the way you move money, it may allow you to be debt-free. If you could simply adjust the way you thought you had to use your money, it could help you buy that other house that you wanted to buy. If you could simply adjust the way, if you could mentally get over the hump of saying, I need to change some things and I am open to learn something new, financially, your mental health is going to be in a better place. Some people say you can't teach an old dog a new trick. Well, for some people that may be true, but you don't have to be an old dog. You don't have to be an old cat. You don't have to be whatever it is. You can open yourself up to learn something new. And so as we talk about shifting our money mindset on today, I appreciate all of you for tuning in on today and listening to me talk on an early Saturday morning. I am very humbled by it because you could be listening to whatever on this Saturday morning, but you decided to just tune in and share some time with me, and you got the rest of your Saturday as well. If you did tune into this and you caught it late, you can always go back and watch the replay. All of my videos are always saved on YouTube, my YouTube channel, Coach Steele's Finance Training. No problem, Shirley. And Shirley, I sent you that information. I emailed you the information. I emailed you the information about NCH. I emailed you the information about estate planning. So check your email, Shirley. I don't know if you got that information, but if anybody else needs information about estate planning, wills, trust, and things like that, let me know. I can send you a link That way you can schedule an appointment and have that conversation about setting up your will or your trust, or who knows what type of trust, whether it's revocable or irrevocable. Those are experts that will be able to help you and give you guidance on what steps to take next. All of you are awesome. All of you are such beautiful people. And like I said, humbled by you tuning in on today. Great conversation about money and what we need to be doing with it. Once again, remember the link to the high yield interest savings account. It is, I will send that to you, Celeste, Sister Graham. I know you're probably talking about the will and estate planning. And so, like I said, great conversation about financial literacy on today. I think we got a lot accomplished. And as you all make progress, listen, as you all make financial progress, just like I mentioned, someone sent me an email and told me about them paying off the 2 credit cards, and they're going to have 2 more paid off by the end of this year. Shoot me an email, or you can, of course, you can always come on here the next Saturday morning and share your testimony in here as well. But you do see my email running down there at the bottom of the screen, coachstillfinance@gmail. Shoot me an email and let me know the success that you're having and how this is impacting you and pushing you and allowing you to grow. So we want to share the testimonies and the success that we're having as we have these conversations about financial literacy. And yes, I am Sarah Stevens, 4-H'er, still to this day, even though I am a grown man. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you all for tuning in. Janet Miles said, just paid off 1. I need like a clapping thingamajiggy or something like that. That is awesome. As you pay that stuff off, it is a burden, a relief. The closer you get to being debt-free and paying this stuff off, it's just more off your plate. It feels good to walk in that and to operate in that. Like I said, appreciate y'all tuning in.